So, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part Uno, man. Look, Tom Cruise is that dude, and Tom Cruise will always deliver Tom Cruise. But so Christopher McQuarrie, it's basically been him and Tom Cruise. So he's been the guy who's basically been writing the films and also directing them as well. So I think he did Rogue Nation, Fallout, and now this. I think Fallout was the one before this, I believe. And also, McQuarrie, he was also the guy that wrote the script for Usual Suspects and won the Oscar for Usual Suspects, starring Kevin Spacey, Benicio del Toro, all those dudes. Good script. Um, so from my initial thoughts is I probably I do feel Rogue Nation and Fallout are better. This is still good, it's still in the same vein, but I feel those are the ones that are better. Because I just felt the intensity and the action was a lot more sustained throughout and a lot more intense in Fallout and Rogue Nation than in this one. And my thing though is everything was there. I mean, look, there is a amazing car chase. There's a car chase that lasts for ages. Now, it ain't as good as Reloaded because Reloaded is the Matrix Reloaded has the best car chase of all time. But this car chase is very inventive because it's frenetic, it's exciting, dynamic, but also it's funny as well. So it's a good blend of intensity and comedy in the car chase that they have. So, and then you have the ending. And I think that's basically if you've, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but if you've played Uncharted, and I think this is in Uncharted 2. I don't know if it was in 2 or 3. There's a particular bit within the train that they do where I was like, bro, even the guys in the cinema are like, okay, this is crazy. But if you've played Uncharted, you're like, oh, bro, this is from Uncharted. They did the same thing in Uncharted. So I think, look, overall, I think it's it's exciting. You are never bored, and I think the pacing is really good, and it keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. But it's like I said to myself, okay, what is the issue I have with this film? Because the action is good, the pacing is good. It's an interesting story that sets the stage for a part two. And my issue is, I feel that it's like, look, Haley Atwell, I think, is a decent actress. She was Peggy Carter in Captain America. She is a good actress, but I just feel that the vibe that she brings sort of changes the entire vibe of this film. You see, like with Rebecca Ferguson, her vibe, I think, maintained the intensity of the film. Because I think Haley Atwell, she plays the character of like a thief, and she isn't a special agent. Whereas Rebecca Ferguson's character is a special agent. So her with Vin Grimes and Simon Pegg, they're all special agents. And I think that was how everything started. So in Mission Impossible 1, um, is it Jean Reno, obviously Tom Cruise, Vin Grimes, Emilio Estevez, they're all special agents. So they're all quality. I think with Halle Atwell, she obviously adds to a lot of the comedy. So it pretty much it felt more like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith than a film about special agents. So I think in Fallout and Rogue Nation, it was like, this is a team, and there's a team as special agents. A lot of the film is Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell. And I think that's because she's like, okay, yes, I'm a thief, but I'm just thrust into this crazy special agents thing. I think it takes away a lot of the vibe. Now, in the crowd I was watching it with, they enjoyed it because the dynamic between them, the chemistry between them was actually it was cool. The chemistry with them was cool. Just for me, I thought it took away from what made Fallout and Rogue Nation work, which is just how good that team was, and that team being experts at what they do. So I felt that the vibe was just off for me. The vibe was off for me, and I think that a lot of it was focused on them too. Whereas because this is an interesting story that could go interesting ways, and when you look at the antagonist to Ethan Hunt, this really called for, no, this should really be about the team. And I felt that the team did their thing, but I felt that they could have been involved a lot more into the story and could have been a lot more dramatically involved in the way that they were. So it was a choice, and I think it's a choice that they just, okay, want to bring Haley Atwell into this and really add to her being the dynamic. But I was like, bro, that's not what's Mission Impossible. It's about the special agents, Ethan Hunt, and the special agents around him. Like, hence why Vin Grimes has been there since part one. But look, Tom Cruise is crazy. Because that stunt he pulled, I was like, this guy took a motorcycle and really sped off a freaking cliff. Basically, what happens, I was like, this dude is mad. Like, this dude is mad. But that's not the craziest sequence. The craziest sequence, again, I don't want to spoil this for you. It's an Uncharted-like sequence if you played the game, and it's to do with a train. And just how it's filmed and how things break down, I was like, whoa, okay, this is pretty intense. But even me watching it though, I just said to myself that, because Christopher McQuarrie, he's a decent director, but he's really primarily a writer. And he really got into the industry really as a writer. And that's why I said usual suspects. So, because when I just look at the story and everything, I just felt, okay, if let's say you had like a James Cameron doing the action, I think that he'd be able to embellish it more. But McQuarrie still does a good job. For me, yes, so it is, I've got to be insistent for me, no, look, see, I'm a movie merchant, man. It's don't mean ifs and buts. It's good. But it is not to the level of Rogue Nation and Fallout. Because I remember how I felt coming out of Rogue Nation. I remember how I felt coming out of Fallout. I was like, okay, that was just mad. Like, that was just mad. And I think the entire film, from back to front, and the way the action was intense. So I just think that, put it this way, the intensity may be lost, but the stakes have never been higher. And I think that's why when you watch the film, you realize why it's a part one and a part two, because I think they're like, look, we really need to really raise the stakes and make it really seem like if there's really something could be lost here. Something for Ethan Hunt could be lost here. So they really added in those elements. So, put it this way. I think that this is going to do really, really, really well for a mass audience. Because I think that, I'm only speaking for myself, but I am a minority, like I'm a niche merchant. I think for the mass audience, especially couples, specifically couples, will really enjoy the back and forth between Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell. Because for me, that really is the heart of this film. And I think for couples, they'll really enjoy that. They'll enjoy their chemistry. And I think that chemistry is really I think that is the key formula for this film. And I think most people will enjoy that. For me, that just wasn't for me. Like, I was like, I really wasn't looking for that. But I'm just speaking for myself. But putting myself out of it, people may enjoy that. But overall, look, would I recommend this? Yeah. Yeah, it's, especially when it gets towards the end. Basically, all I'll say is, not as good as Fallout and Rogue Nation, but still very good. But it's still a very good Mission Impossible. So, yeah, still not good as Rogue Nation, Fallout, but still definitely worth the watch, man. Just have to wait for part 2, where Tom Cruise goes to freaking space, man. Like, subscribe, one love.